Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of people want to talk about Brock Lesnar. A lot of people are going to talk about what happened with his own. I'm going to talk about them, but as you can see from my thumbnail, that is not my focus. But I am going to talk about all that stuff first before I get to the end, and what I felt was highly important. Let's talk about what happened with Seth Rollins and facing Neville. Now, I know a lot of people are happy with what happened to John Cena. Of course, the kids are not happy because they love their Superman. But let's be honest here. A lot of people was totally ecstatic to see John Cena hurt and get that nose put from here all the way past his eye over here. I know they were happy. I know it didn't go up that high, but you know what I mean. They wanted to see this man get something so bad, and he got it. But here's the thing, and I said this pretty well in my last Raw review. A lot of things happen in the back when something like that goes wrong. They don't like it when their golden boy gets hurt. The FCC has to be paid at least between $10,000 to $30,000 for the injury, seeing blood. They don't like showing blood on TV. Seth Rollins must have gotten a good talking to, or basically say, why the fuck did you mess up our boy? A lot of promotion for the WWE is done through John Cena more than anyone else, like the Make-A-Wish and everything else. I know people don't really care a lot about it, but it does help the promotion. So with John hurt the way he is, the promotion suffers to a certain extent. And let's be honest here. John Cena is their major motivation. When he's gone, short-term gain, they scramble and give us something entirely different. But it does not mean long-term gain we get something better. In some cases we get worse because once they believe John Cena is really badly hurt and cannot come around for several months, as much as you believe that the product will get better, it doesn't. Because nobody wants to do anything to really promote anybody but John Cena. And when they're scrambling to promote someone else, they half-ass it and they rush it. Look at Seth Rollins. Seth is loved right now because the golden boy is hurt. The crowd in that arena was screaming for Seth. Except for the kids. Not all the kids were cheering. They were booing because essentially they hurt the golden boy, like I said. But Seth Rollins is the most over person. As a face. People love him now because he's a face, because he got rid of the bad guy. And if anybody thinks John Cena isn't a bad guy, you got a lot to really think about. But when it comes down to it, and he had this open challenge, it was very intriguing. Seeing JoJo get that spot actually filled me with a lot of happiness. You know why? We always see the King, Jerry Lawler, in that spot. We sometimes saw Booker T, which was very rare. We mainly saw Michael Cole and almost never see JBL. But seeing JoJo was very good to see because she needs the type of training. Sooner or later, she has to come up to the main roster, and she has to be seen all the time in the ring. Maybe one day, if she's good enough, she can actually do commentary. And I'll be getting to commentary in a little bit because of the primetime players. Yeah, millions of dollars, baby. But I gotta say this, that I'm very happy to see JoJo in that spot. And then seeing Neville in that spot is a very good opportunity, similar to what happened with Kevin Owens. The ending really gave a lot of interest. And like I said earlier in this review, short-term gain could still spell long-term loss. Because as much as you don't want to think it, Seth really hasn't been built very well. If Seth has to struggle against a Neville, a former NXT guy like himself, does not make Seth Rollins look good. Great match. I'm not going to say it wasn't. And it was wise not to let Seth Rollins lose the title. But let's be honest. Seth looks weak. And this really epitomizes that. And him putting the challenge to John Cena, and I didn't say this earlier, title to title at SummerSlam, I did say that might happen. The question is going to be, will Cena be physically capable of getting back in the ring after having a badly shattered nose? I don't know if he will. There's a good chance they're going to have to put this off for another The next thing I'm going to talk about is because of Roddy Piper dying. And if you haven't seen my debate of the week on it, take a look back and you'll see I did one on him. Just how he affected me. And somewhat about the business. And we know he's made a huge contribution to business. And I'm going to admit, when I did that debate of the week, I was very emotional at the time. I was very upset. We've already lost the Warrior, Dusty Rhodes, and now we just lost Piper. I don't take death very well right now. I get upset. So I was upset when I did that debate. So if it sounded a little choppy, I'm very sorry. But it was a nice tribute to him. Was it a great one? They could have done better. But I do believe it was a nice tribute. And everyone wearing the shirts, it was okay. But here's the thing that makes me feel sad. You got people that just came up from NXT, and they're literally doing nothing. Rusev versus Mark Henry. Now I gotta bring this out because of what's been going on with Lana and Summer Rae. Lana and Summer Rae are eventually going to have a match. And this is truly sad because when you look at this, shouldn't Rusev be the total and main focus of the WWE? It isn't. It's Lana and Summer Rae. That's the main focus. And because of what happened with John Cena, and I do believe this, they have to do something to get somebody ready because they don't know how long John's going to be out. So when you see Rusev versus Mark Henry, I knew when I saw Mark, because of what's been going on with John, I said, no, Mark is going to get his ass handed to him. And not only did he get his ass handed to him, since we don't see him often, he got his ass handed to him badly. He didn't just get his butt kicked. He got his butt kicked badly. This is Mark Henry, who last year when he was facing Rusev was representing the United States. And he was the one that a lot of people wanted to see beat Rusev. It wasn't John Cena. It was not The Big Show. It was not, well, to a certain extent, they did want Jack Swagger. But it was Mark, a former Olympic champion, who should have actually won against Rusev, but did not. A guy has gone way down since last year, and it's sad to see. And this is all because, well, more than just John Cena. They want to promote Lana versus Summer Rae. It's just stupid. And since we are talking about the women, Becky Lynch and Charlotte versus the Bellas. Didn't really mean much. As much as you want to think that Charlotte now has a pin over Nikki Bella, it doesn't mean anything until the actual match between Nikki and Charlotte happens and Charlotte actually wins. Because we've gone through this with Paige, through Naomi, through Natalya, through, if you want to even be kind of clear about it, through Alicia Fox at one point she faced at her. Even when it came to Brie herself facing a Nikki. Every time when you think that Nikki's going to lose, she does not. So don't get your hopes up about Charlotte. I don't believe that Nikki's going to drop that title until after 300 days. Then maybe Charlotte will win it. Now, the Cesaro and Kevin Owens segment on Miz TV. I don't care about Miz, unfortunately, because the staph infection is still prevalent inside Ryback and they're not letting him drop the title. Miz is stagnant. There's nothing for him to do, and he wasn't doing that well anyway because he had to deal with the Big Show, the Ryback, and himself. It was only one-on-one, it actually would be okay. But this is what we got with The Miz. He's nothing right now. But here's the problem I see between a Kevin Owens and a Cesaro. Two indie guys. Two former ROH guys. It's too soon. I know a lot of people are going to say, and I'm sure the Slug Daddy CC is going to say you're not correct. Right now, they got a good feud going. The segment with The Miz was actually very good, and it was good. Seeing that Kevin Owens didn't job to Cesaro, and Cesaro didn't job to Kevin Owens, and the person who mainly jobbed was The Miz getting his ass thrown around the ring, was good. But to me, this is the problem. Cesaro just became a face. And Kevin Owens just came to the main roster and he lost badly twice to John Cena. Cesaro needs time to go up against someone totally different from Kevin Owens. Someone that he can build more of his own cred up as a face. It's too soon right now to go up against someone like a Kevin Owens. If this was in 6 months, this would work perfectly for me personally. But they're doing this on the heels of the last pay-per-view. And you know what happened to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens jobbed badly to John. It was a great match, but in the end, he still jobbed. And John Cena didn't lose. So, you guys tell me below, how can you justify having two guys who really need to win their respective match that's going to come at SummerSlam, and you're not going to have that option? It's either going to be Cesaro who's going to win, it's going to be Kevin Owens who's going to win. One heel who truly needs to win, and one face who truly needs to win. This is too soon. As much as it's actually very good, it's too soon, and this is just how I feel. You guys tell me below. Zack Ryder versus Bad News Barrett. You know, the match between them would have been interesting if Zack Ryder actually came out using his Internet Championship belt. Let's be honest here. Zack Ryder pulled himself out of the dirt years ago working with WWE because he went on YouTube and said that I am the first and only YouTube Internet Champion. If he had been allowed to carry that belt, I tell you right now that Bad News Barrett versus the Internet Champ and a Zack Ryder would actually be compelling. If they had brought that title onto Raw and started using it and doing it through social media and doing it through Twitter, doing it through Facebook, doing it through Tumblr, doing it through Instagram, I tell you now, that belt would get over. Because it would be an internet darling. But it's not even shown. The Internet Champ is not shown. And this match, when Bad News Barrett said, you may be the Internet Champ, but you're nothing compared to me, meant nothing. Both of them got paid, which I'm glad to see. They need to get money. But it meant nothing. Zero. Now, let's see. The 8-man tag was very short. The one thing I liked about it was that the primetime players were at commentary. I'm going to say this. I wish they would not show anyone else, and you know how I feel about Naomi. I don't believe Naomi's a bad talker. She's improved quite a lot. She still needs work. Bad on commentary was not bad. When it comes to Sasha Banks, whenever Naomi kind of drops a little bit, Sasha kind of pulls her up. But when it comes down to it, the most entertaining two that's on commentary is the primetime players. They're the reason I like seeing tag team wrestling right now. They are. They're that entertaining. And when you see this 8-man tag, it felt like a clusterfuck. You know why? Los Matadores is not cared about. The Ascension is not cared about. New Day is cared to a certain extent, and the Lucha Dragons are being interjected because I think they just want to put those belts on those guys right now because they don't want to see the primetime players or New Day have them anymore. They want to throw it to Lucha Dragons because, and I hope I'm wrong, because they're both Mexican and they just don't want black guys to have the belts anymore because they become too entertaining. Because that's the way it looks. And I'm not being prejudiced or racist. It just seems to be that way. Because when you let the primetime players in New Day have their time, the people loved it. If they gave New Day and primetime players more time in the ring talking than it is fighting, they would get somewhere. But this is what we got. Now, let's see, am I forgetting anything? The last two things I'm going to talk about. Sheamus and the Wyatts versus Orton and the Shield. You know how I feel. Wyatts Mini versus Shield Mini. Was it a good match? It was alright. You got Roman Reigns getting the pin on Sheamus. Shouldn't he be getting the pin on Bray Wyatt? There's only two reasons why. One, they know that Sheamus and Orton have been done so many times, they want to just move away from them. Two, they're trying to tease a Roman Reigns going after the Money in the Bank briefcase. I would love the latter. In fact, originally, if you remember me correctly stating, I really wanted Cesaro not to face Kevin Owens. I wanted Kevin Owens to face Sheamus. I wanted the Canadian Crippler go against the Celtic Warrior. I'm just calling the Crippler just for some reason. I don't know why. I'm sorry. That's not the right thing. That kind of goes with Lord Voldemort. I'm sorry. But I want to see Canada go against Ireland. Why not? Have Kevin Owens go up against Sheamus, an indie guy going against an established WWE guy. I think it would be better. And then you let Kevin Owens get the title, which is the Money in the Bank briefcase, away from Sheamus. I think it would work better on Owens than it would on Sheamus. But that's just me. But I am happy that Roman did get the pin. But unless they're going to keep bothering each other, it really doesn't mean much. Last but not least, this is about what I focus on. Paige versus Naomi. Now I'm sure you're going to say, dude, why are we caring about these two women? They don't really mean much. They do. You got Paige, who's part of now the submission sorority. I think they should have stayed blank on that because it just seems they're just throwing out names that's not necessary. Bad is better to use and Team Bella than the submission sorority. It's too many. You already got 3 teams up against each other, and I understand the reason why they did it, but it's not necessary. When it comes down to it is this. Naomi Knight truly should have already been Divas Champ last year before she got hurt. Well, actually, she could have been champ in 2013. They didn't let her have it. She went to 2014 and she got hurt when her eye socket got cracked by Oksana. You know how I felt about that. But after it's over, why not let Naomi have that match against AJ Lee? Instead of having that stupid battle royal, which I'm not against the women who went and had that battle royal. They had to go up against a lot when it came to Brock Lesnar and when it came to The Undertaker at that time. It was a big hit they took because they had to follow that and it was hard. But the point is, and the woman, and I believe her name is Nicole. She's one of my subscribers. I can't remember her last name. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Nicole. I hope you don't get pissed at me for getting your last name. I'm very bad with names. But she said it best. She just feels like the WWE is shafting Naomi Knight. And I agree with her 100%. Naomi should already be champ. Not because she has a husband who's on the roster. It's because since the time of NXT, when it switched from FCW and she was there, she showed how good she was. She worked very hard. She came up onto the roster and everyone's always loved her. When you see her turn heel, people were excited to see her. You don't see a great female heel, particularly a black female heel. And I'm not against Alicia Fox. I do love me the Fox. But I felt that with Naomi, it was an entirely different dynamic. Because Alicia Fox is not a high-flying diva. She just isn't. And as much as Paige wants to emulate Lita, she's not a Lita. She's more of a Trish Stratus type of woman. She's more of a wrestler that's grounded. Lita was a beyond high-flyer extremist. And Naomi is a high-flying extreme wrestler. She just is. Why not let her have the title? Simple. It's coming down to me 3 reasons. One, right now, when it comes to Stephanie, because she's the one that does the most influence in the divas, She just doesn't want to see a black woman as Divas champ again. 2, Vince doesn't want to see a black female champ. 3, she's not sucking dick other than her own husband. And I'm sorry to be so graphic, but that's really what it comes down to. Really. Naomi Knight should have already been champ since last year. And we're not getting it because either Stephanie doesn't want her there, Vince doesn't want her there, and she's not sucking either enough dick or she's not sucking dick. I'm hoping for the latter. But this is my point of view. What is yours? And I hope you enjoyed the Zane view. Please give me a comment below. I will not be doing debate of the week this week. I'm a little busy, so you'll see my TNA review, and that'll probably be it for the week. So have a good day and have a good night. Peace!